See the numbers going there? Okay, that's it.
Like the shoes. Those are great.
Our third speaker today is Paul Pastore. Paul is a graduate of the University of Connecticut. He first joined Toastmasters in 1976. He holds a DTM designation. He has a lovely wife, Nancy, that he's been married to for several years. He's an empty nester with grown children. And he's an Arizona realtor since 1977. He enjoys reading, real estate, and sports. He's working on his competent communicator researcher topic. And the title of his speech is It's a Great Time to Buy Real Estate. Paul Pastore, it's a great time to buy real estate. It's a great time to buy real estate. Paul Pastore.
Great time to buy real estate. It's an absolutely, positively fantastic time to buy real estate. Why did I say that 3 times? Because I went to Catholic school when I was young. And the nuns used to insist that you had to say something 3 times for the normal mind. And as I'm looking at this group of people, there are possibly some people here that are not normal. So I'd like to say it again. It's a great time to buy real estate. Some of you know that our president, Christie, is an attorney. Today, she's going to be a judge, and you're going to be the jury. I'd like to present to you evidence so that beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt, you'll conclude that
it's a great time to buy real estate.
I'd like to call my first witness to the stand. Many of you know her, Miss Nancy Johnson. Who knows Nancy Johnson? Nancy used to be a member of this club. For many years, she took care of Gary Hartzberger. Some new members don't know Gary Hartzberger. Gary Hartzberger was a wonderful machinist from Austria. He came to this country, and he had a great sense of humor. I remember like it was yesterday, the day he stood in front of our meeting and sang, what song?
Back the Knife.
Back the Knife. Gary had something happen to his brain, and he passed away. I can remember Gary at Nancy Johnson's house just before he passed away. Nancy had a financial setback. She moved to the west side. She got remarried. Good news. Recently, I closed on Nancy's house. How many had been to Nancy Johnson's house? Nancy had a house in Chandler, 4-bedroom, 2-bath house, block construction, large lot. It recently closed for $83,000. $83,000. The buyer put 3.5% down with FHA financing, about $3,000, financed $80,000. Just for calculation purposes, today's current interest rate is $5 a thousand. So for every $5 you finance, your P&I is going to be $5 a thousand. So on an $80,000 loan, what's your P&I payment going to be? $400 a month. Escrow, which includes taxes and insurance, another $100 a month. So the buyer's payment on that property is $500 a month. $500 a month. You could rent that property out for about $895 a month. So the buyer moves into that property. He could stay there and live. His payment is less than rent, or they could rent out the property. Wait a second. What's that sound? It's a cash cow. You bet it's a cash cow. Congratulations. $400 a month positive cash flow. That's a pretty good deal. Now let's assume that you took that $400 a month positive cash flow and you rented the property out and you just plowed it back into making your payment. How long would it take you to pay that house off? Say 11 years. 11 years. Now let's just assume for the moment that that house appreciates over the next 11 years 3% a year. That's not stretching it. Over a decade, real estate appreciating 3% from where it is now, the house is worth $115,000. Let's try that. You're putting $3,000 into something, you have a what?
Cash
For
cow.
11 years and the property's paid off. When I was in college, my grandfather provided for all his grandchildren a $5,000 trust fund. It doesn't sound like much, but in those days, it was a lot of money. Oscar talked about his grandpas. What are you doing consciously for your children and your grandchildren to provide for their college? Christy's a dream coach. Let me give you a dream. You can buy a piece of rental real estate right now, have a
Cash cow.
and in about a decade, it's free and clear, and you can give to your grandchildren a $115,000 trip to college. Is that a great country or what? Thank you, Nancy. I'd like to call my second witness, Sean Stevens. Sean is my son-in-law. Sean just bought a house, short sale, near Jerry White, near the Islands, and McQueen. $125,000, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, over 1,500 square feet, built in the year 2000. His PTI payment on there is $820. Thank you, Sean. Sean can live in that house a while, he can rent it out, he can buy another house, and it's a what?
Cash
There you
cow.
go. Thank you, Sean. I'd like to call my final witness to the stand, Mr. and Mrs. Lombardo. About a week ago, I listed their house in Queen Creek. At the peak of the market in '06, they bought this house for $270,000. He's had some physical problems, he's retired, and he has a cash flow problem. We just put his house on the market that he paid $270,000 for just a few years ago, for $95,000.
Ugh.
$95,000 going FHA, you put about $3,400 down. Your PITI on the property is $617. That also is a cash cow. So, if you just rented it out for about a decade, you have a free and clear property that is now worth $131,000. Would your grandchildren like a $131,000 gift to go to college? Or would they like to go through college, take out student loans, and have a $250,000 debt when they get out? As parents and grandparents, that's something for you to start dreaming about. I've been in real estate for over 30 years. I have never seen the deals out there now. The only problem is that you have to get yourself away from the negativity in the paper. I want to challenge everybody here to just consider the possibility of rental real estate. I personally would go in with anybody to buy some real estate. Several of you could go in with friends and relatives to buy real estate. My fellow Toastmasters, it's a great time to buy
Real estate.
Madam Toastmaster.